This is my flat in Tokyo. It's sort of small, but it has insane amount of features that you would want to find in bigger places as well. Space utilization in here is just so efficient. Man, Japanese have figured stuff out. Upon entrance, you're greeted with genkan, which is traditional Japanese entrance, which is slightly lower, where you leave your shoes and then enter the clean area. While the entrance is actually tiny, it's somewhat efficiently made. So next to genkan, there's a post box, washer dryer, next to just some random rack with stuff, just basically stuff that you leave. Since it's such a small space, every corner is utilized. So actually behind the kind of clothing rack, there's microwave and some kitchen appliances, which is maybe not the best place to put them, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Next to the entrance is probably one of the coolest things in the whole flat, and it's actually the wet room. You could call it a bathroom, but it's actually more like a wet room unit. Made by Bridgestone, and it is literally a unit. Basically, when they build a house, they just lift it with a crane. Because it's made from the factory as a one unit, there's everything in here. So there are drains, toilet, even toilet paper rack. But besides not just having a shower, but also a bath that you can actually sit in, there's one more insanely useful feature that I wish I could see in like Western bathrooms. It's up there. This is sort of like a fan, heater, dryer type of thing that has heating and ventilation. So when you put your clothes in here, they actually dry pretty quickly, and it's such an underrated thing. Seriously, I was really worried that I won't be able to dry my clothes in here because it's such a small space and there's a balcony, but there might be some rainy days. But this thing up here, it just dries clothes maybe in like 3-4 hours, and that's it. And you can set different heat settings and all the stuff, it's great. It's the time to enter the main area. Since the whole place is tiny, the bed situation is kind of complicated. Luckily, architects actually thought about that. It's there. Come. I mean, sure, this place wouldn't work for maybe older people who can't really scale up these relatively steep stairs that actually are movable. But for students and young-ish able people, it's kind of decent idea. Because when you're sleeping, you don't need height, you need just horizontal space. Literally 2 people could sleep in here. It's fine. We have a socket, light, even a window that's weirdly opening upside. One thing this place makes it really clear is physics. And what I mean by that is thermodynamics. Up here, it's insanely hot. Downstairs, perfectly fine. But if we look from here, it's just slightly easier to see where stuff is. That's my desk. That's my workspace. There's a light that actually is 2 levels adjustable. And these are the steepest stairs that I've actually probably ever climbed. As you can see, my decently sized luggage takes probably 1/5 of the room. That was sort of a complication when the bed was in here, because it was taking literally more than half of the room. But at the moment, it's kind of fine. Because I have a balcony, space doesn't really feel that cramped. Because the balcony is decently sized. I actually spent quite a few evenings in here just looking at cars passing by. It's weirdly serene. And that's sort of a good segue to kitchen and trash situation, because it's not as easy as in some other places of the world. Kitchen, it's sort of standard micro apartment kitchen. Trash though, is kind of big topic with expats coming to Japan. You have to sort it out. And it's not just like plastic and glass and stuff to go to the actual dump. It's a bit more complex. Depending on a ward, by the way, depending on the place you live. So now it might explain why I have so many bottles around the sink, because some of them still need to be washed and labels removed. Some of them I will be reusing. I have 1 gas burner, tiny drying rack, which is surprisingly useful when you think about it. Luckily, there's an extractor fan, which is more than some UK apartments. And the fridge. It's tiny, but also there's like a massive ice block in here that for some reason just was when I came, and I need to use a fridge. I don't want to defrost it, so it's staying there. Oh, by the way, super random thing. So when I came here, a whole apartment just smelled like sewage. Turns out, the plumber that did the whole thing kinda did stuff as backwards. So that means, because it was just quicker for me to fix it instead of calling a landlord and doing the thing, I was kinda diving underneath the sink, trying to seal the pipes so they wouldn't leak gases. That's one of those things that I do, I guess. Obviously, I have a charging corner, which contains all my electronics that being charged by that small Anker charger, which is still 120 watts, so that's enough. The work situation is actually not that bad if you think about it. I have somewhat decent desk space. Okay, I'm saying somewhat decent. I'm used to 32-inch monitor and like 2 monitors, speakers, all that stuff. Speaking about speakers, because walls are paper thin, I wouldn't be able to play music anyway, so I guess that's that. But yeah, working is actually not that bad in here. Also, on my birthday, I got an Asna figure, and since I have sort of decent views, it's kinda nice. Since you have to utilize every space possible, this is my reading corner. Or rather, it's learning corner. Because after coming here, I realized how much more motivated I am to study, because now I see results every day. If I learn a new word, I can actually use it in the next 20 minutes going downstairs to a convenience store. It's such a cool experience, actually. So yeah, this is how my life looks like in Tokyo. At least for this month. Ja ne!